Hello, 2022 crit season. Here we come. We're at the Ace Speedway in Elon, North Carolina. This is the Cat 3-4 race. It's a 50-minute crit. Psych is high. Real quick, guys, the first of this race is going to be action-packed. So myself is riding, Jake, and Spencer. We're rocking the maroon kits. It's going to be a good day, man. It is super cold out. It was about 46 degrees today. If you look at the track map, this is a quarter-mile oval with a little bit of banking in the corners, and we've got a headwind on the backstretch. That really will come into play later on when you're out there doing pulls and taking a beating. Thanks to Gigawatt. Check the pink Pepto-Bismol kit right in front of me. They're the host of this race. They brought 7 dudes to the party. Wow. So, needless to say, we were a little outgunned, and we'll get a taste of that later on in the race. So if you look at the top of the screen, I've got a lap counter and an attack counter set up for you guys because I'm going to get confused. So it's really going to help me out. But, again, 7 gigawatt dudes. It's going to be relentless. Our whole main goal for this ride was to start off fast, cover any of the attacks for gigawatt, and then work from there. We knew the first 10 minutes were going to be just lights out. And sure enough, on my right, here comes Aaron with gigawatt, diesel motor, smashing it. No one's coming around him. One other rider. I feel threatened by this, and so I need to go cover this thing down. I had to let it go just a little bit longer than I wanted to. I was hoping somebody was going to come around, whether it was another team or one of my teammates, to cover that. Didn't happen, so I had to bridge it up real quick. You can look. We've already got a little bit of a gap, and Aaron, he's super motivated. This is his MO. He wants to lap the field. He's giving us a gesture like, yo, get the train rolling. Let's rock and roll. He's already heckling me a little bit. It was a good time out there trash talking with him. But this guy in the front, not super motivated to do too much, does a short little pull. I start putting the power down. This is not me. I'm more of a sprinter. I do way better on a technical course where I can recover in certain sections. So this just short oval where it's all about power and threshold and smashing it, I'm not really good at, but I'm willing to try today because, hey, that's the course I'm dealing with. Look in the rear cam, Peloton's caught back up to us. They've bridged up. We've got another team right here in the dark blue and a black bibs. I do not know the team name, but they have 3 riders also. A little bit confusing because there's some other teams that have bluish jerseys as well. But they kind of strike another little half attack. We'll put it on the counter and chalk it up as 1. Because this thing was just left and right, left and right. And we're already in lap 4. We're coding over to lap Jake's cam right now. And again, our whole job this first couple laps are just to cover everything because we knew it was going to be lights out. There goes Zach for gigawatt up in the upper left-hand corner of the track. He's doing an attack. Jake has to fight through and around about 4 gigawatt guys to make this happen. But he does a great job covering that. That's exactly what we wanted to do. Get there, sit on the wheel, don't do too much effort, and just reel him back into the peloton. Lap 5, the 5th attack. There goes Aaron again off the front, and we were kind of out of position on this one. We were a little spent. I covered twice, Jake covered twice, and we didn't really have the opportunity to go chase down another one. I wish some of the other teams in the field would have, done a little bit more effort chasing stuff down. But hey, it's the first race of the season, and people just aren't really sure what they want to do and where they want to spend their energy. I totally understand that. But luckily, we got this standalone rider smashing it, getting people motivated, and Gigawatt goes and chases him down. Jake falls in line and really helps bring this thing back, and we absorb them back into the field. Luckily, that was the last big attack for the first part of the race. Well, now we're 8 minutes in. We had a chance to recover for a little bit, and Gigawatt sends another guy. I really wish I had not burned a match right here. With it being just 2 riders and being familiar with these 2 riders, I probably should have just let them go off the front and let somebody else fill in, and I could have saved some energy, saved a match there. But we were so threatened by Gigawatt and the amount of riders they had. And almost all the riders on Gigawatt, their power profile is very similar. They all have just diesel motors, and they will lap you, like nobody's business. So it's really tough. Like, it's kind of like, what do you do there? Well, sure enough, here's another counter, and this is a marked rider up here in the dark blue on the other team they've got two other riders, and then it goes Aaron again off, and no one's on his tail, so I feel obligated to cover this. And I'm really threatened by this as well. Get on the inside of the track, shortest way around, using a little NASCAR knowledge there, and kind of staying away and trying to close the gap as soon as possible. Well, checking the rear cam, we've got a little bit of a gap, and Aaron is super motivated to get this thing going. Even though it's early in the race, he still has just so much power to where he can make a break happen and make it stick. Well, we start working together here and doing some consistent pulls and rotations, and I was feeling good. It was good. I obviously was starting to hurt. You can see my heart rate kind of stays in the 180s and stuff like that, and I was definitely feeling it. But lo and behold, we have another rider who bridges up to us. Strengthen our numbers, feeling even better about it. My heart rate may not say it, but mentally I'm like, okay, like this is it. This is the winning move right here. Like, what do I have to do to stay in this? We do a good job these first couple times, rotating evenly, taking very even pulls. I was pretty smart, and I never pulled on the headwind or the backstretch. I think that was kind of luck of the draw. It could have happened where whatever. But lo and behold, later on in that rotation,
do your work.
We got a rider not doing his work. I had to tell him. And he gets back on the front, does this little half-hearted pull, and Aaron gets us motivated and gets us back in line to start pulling. At this point, I believe Aaron either marked me or marked that other gentleman as the odd man out, and he wanted to pop one of us. Couldn't tell you who it was, but I don't really have the profile for this thing, so I'm trying everything and digging deep to try and make something happen. We get organized for a couple more rotations, and when I get on the front to do my short pull right here, I'm cooked, man. And all of a sudden, Aaron just gets psyched and puts in a little attack to get the pace going and get the pace ramped up, and my legs are juiced. I have zero power. I can't rotate through. I let a gap open up. Super frustrating. This guy comes around me, stands out of the saddle like it's nothing, like he just warmed up, and then he's gone. And, oh, dude, I got spit off the back, like yesterday's garbage. Checking over to me in the middle of no man's land. Super frustrating. They go off to, form a breakaway, and I'm about to get absorbed by the peloton. In the midst of this, 2 other riders bridged up to them, so now we have a total of 5 riders in the breakaway. Super frustrating. This was definitely like the race-winning move where, those dudes...
Go out the front.
Oh, you can hear me yelling at the at my guys in the team, because when I get absorbed by the peloton, it's like 4 gigawatt guys on the front setting the pace, and they're just like half pulling and setting up, which is exactly what they should be doing. But I was like so bummed when I saw that. So I was trying to motivate people. And that being said, if you look in the rear cam, I'm riding next to Shannon in red kit and the red Trek, trying to get him motivated because he also has 2 other teammates. If we can combine, that's 6 of us. And hopefully I'm trying to get him to get organized. We can get on the front, box out Gigawatt for a handful of laps, and really pull this breakaway back. Well, unfortunately, Shannon kind of jumps the gun a little bit. We don't get organized, and he just smashes it into oblivion and just goes from 25 to 31 super quick and stretches out the field. And this, it doesn't really do us any good. And we talked about this after the race, me and him. He kind of went a little too soon and should have waited a little bit. But again, it's the first race of the season. Those little miscommunications and stuff can happen. I'm glad he was open to working together, even though it didn't work out in this particular race. But that just lets you know, like, when we're getting ganged up by another team, it's nice to have a couple guys that are motivated to stay in there and to, you know, try and get our money's worth, man. I feel like some of the guys weren't doing that. They were just out there to ride. And, dude, when I pay money for registration and race, like, I'm going to do everything I can to try and win or not get lapped. But it is what it is. And Gigawatt does a great job right here, getting right behind Shannon and kind of soft pedaling, slowing the speed up. I come around Spencer right here to do a pull and keep the speed up. But it's honestly just too much for me and Spencer to kind of carry that load, and a couple of other guys, you know, whenever Gigawatt had, you know, 5 guys, you know, left in the peloton to slow the speed up. Well, while all of this was going on and Shannon went on in his berserker mode, you know, sprint right here, Jake got blown off the back. While I was in the break, he'd been on the front pulling, managing the speed and the tempo and doing a lot of work. And unfortunately, when I got back in the peloton and got Shannon motivated to go, it hurt Jake. And again, that's where if we could have waited like another lap to like let Jake know, he could have stayed on and wouldn't have been caught on the back end of this mega surge. Unfortunately, that's the end of Jake's race. It's good to get those issues and those like miscommunications out of the way early in the season. And, yeah, we're psyched to come back. But look on their left right now. You can see the leaders rolling through. There's 5 of them in the break. And as the peloton, we reabsorb them, and we don't let them go back out and get away from us again, which I was super happy about. So, but it's rough. We're riding along with Spencer right now. Really appreciate him hopping on the Cat 3-4 race. He is a Category 4 rider right now, and he chose just to do this race with us today instead of doing the 4-5, where he could have potentially got a podium or some more points. And was a good team player, so really appreciate that. We're going to skip ahead a little bit. So we've been chilling for like 20 minutes. So the breakaway caught us at like the 20-minute mark, and then ever since then, it was like a full 20 to 25 minutes. I think we're at like 44 minutes now. Nothing's happened. So everyone's been chilling. There's been a couple flyers for like the preem that they handed out, and it was good to go. But now we're coming to like 5 to 6 to go. And this was our plan if it was a standard race and there was no breakaway, was to get together around 5 to 6 to go because the laps are so short. And that we knew the speed was going to be ramped up.
Showtime, Spencer.
Talking to Spencer right here, letting him know it's showtime. Letting him know the lap count. Tell him to maintain the inside. Don't let anybody take his wheel, and fight for every position. And after reviewing the footage of his camera, like that's exactly what he did. Did not let anybody take his wheel or come up to the inside of him. You know, the only people that I think passed him just have to come around the outside of him really hard. So that was really good to see. Great for building confidence, and super psyched for the coming races with some more technical courses. But watching this, you know, again, we've got Aaron up here in the Pepto-Bismol Pink Gigawatt kit, and there's a couple other riders sprinkled in that are on the break, and I'm really just kind of watching them and like watching them to make the first move. And sure enough, someone gets super jacked, and they start to ramp the speed up and do some more attacks. But at this point, like with 4 to go, I was really thinking that Gigawatt was going to have all 7 guys on the front and just doing like, you know, pulling like a Legion and doing a crazy lead out. So whenever I got Aaron on my left right here, I kind of boxed him in a little bit of payback from blowing me off the lead out earlier, just some fun and games, and kind of make him stress out a little bit in these closing laps. But sure enough, no rear camera right now. It died, just weather being so cold. But we've got an attack coming up on our right side, and it's one of the guys in the break. The guy in the white Scott with the green and orangish kit, and he smashes it. And I feel pretty good. And doing pulls with him earlier, I'm like, oh, he's got the diesel tank to make something happen. And I'm motivated enough, so I go after this thing. I haven't seen this gentleman do too much in the ride And so I'm really unsure, but unfortunately the guy on the front right here pulls off, just does like a full straightaway pull, and then he pulls off right away too. So that little 3 lap to go attack was kind of all for nothing. I feel like it was just a little bit of a waste. So we're hopping right over to Spencer's camera, same time. Aaron and one of the other guys goes, and they do a 2 lap to go smash. Spencer right here threading the needle a little bit, keeping it inbounds. That's good to see. And the pace is ramping up. People are hurting. People are tired. We've been racing for a full 50 minutes. But he's on some good wheels. He's got Shannon up there in the red Trek. He's got Josh Looney right in front of him from Charlotte that we ride with all the time. Good sprinter. So he's on some good wheels, and he's doing a great job keeping it inside line and not letting anybody around him. We're on the last lap for Spencer right now, and the pace is just super high. Everybody's hurting. We've been attacking the whole time. We've been just beaten up by Gigawatt and giving everything we got. And this is the last corner right here, guys. The finish line's early in the straightaway, and you've got to give it everything you can. Spencer does a good job. A couple people pass him, but awesome effort right here for the first race of the season. Jumping over to my screen for the last 2 laps. I'm on the front, and you'll see Aaron and the guys counter, and will ride along with me for my last 2 laps. And they get a good gap right here. I did not care at all to cover this. They are, they're fighting for top 5 because they lapped us, and so I'm just going to let them, kind of duke it out. But lo and behold, guys are hungry for it, and they attack. Well, Shannon is a lap down just like me. He's in the red kit, and this guy behind him, straight in front of me, he is in the break. And so he's fighting for a podium. And Shannon tows him all the way around these guys. It's so funny. And we're just cooking it around this corner. And at this point, I'm just like enjoying the sprint, ready to practice, and just kind of letting these guys duke it out a little bit. And they just bulldoze to the line. And there you have it, man. Great first season, or a great first race for the season, guys. End up coming away with P7. Shout out to Gigawatt again for hosting the race and bringing out everybody and their grandma to race against us. Looking forward to another one in the books. Be on the lookout for more videos on the channel, guys. Later.